We're looking at the Santa Catalina Mountains, which overlook the Tucson Basin in Arizona. And we're looking at the plants that are in folks' yards. And like the desert, they're rather sparse, mostly. And they have their collections of rocks in particular, prickly pear, in this case, that we're looking at there on the right, ground covers. They have a lot of cactus, of course, Palo Verde trees, mesquite, and jardiniers. I noticed that because it's very difficult to plant a tree in the desert. In fact, they sell jackhammers at the garden centers to help people dig the holes. Here we see a good collection of cactus in front of the house. The barrel cactus, the prickly pear. Fences are quite prominent throughout Tucson. I suspect because, well, it keeps out critters like snakes, but also it cuts down on the wind from the dust that is quite apparent. We don't see much grass in Tucson, only at the fancy hotels and some of the more prominent homes. And of course, they're highly irrigated. You see cactus a lot. The garden writers had visited in October, and we were privy to, fortunately, some people's homes that allowed us to come in and take videos and pictures, of course. And this is what the homes that are irrigated look like. We're at the La Paloma Hotel, the Westin La Paloma, where they can afford to run the water quite regularly, but they also have the natural plantings with a lot of stone cropping. You see a lot of rocks incorporated either as border or as accent pieces. And it's quite a combination with the more formal gardens as we see here at the hotel. But in people's homes, we're more likely to see the rocks, as we see interspersed here in between the various plantings. Mesquite trees were bleeding black, as we can see in this photo. That tree, of course, is used instead of charcoal when they're doing the barbecuing, and it's all around the desert. That, and of course the cactus here, we see some barrel cactus. The grass here, of course, is probably irrigated every day. And we were at the Tucson Botanical Gardens, and there we saw on the in the areas in the open sun, many of the plants that we see in the desert. In this case, we're looking at the yucca. Interesting, thinner leaf than other yuccas, but pretty nonetheless. So they go for texture. Here we see the Mexican blue palm. It's a fan palm, of course, and lends itself to the landscape quite naturally, of course. And where would we be without lantana for that sweet scent? Of course, where would we be without all these plants as houseplants? And that's what I particularly appreciated about this trip, to see them in their natural environment. Of course, this would be a lot smaller as a houseplant. I think you would probably need a conservatory to house the Mexican palm tree. But of course, we have palms as houseplants. So if you got a chance, get to Tucson, Arizona, and visit their botanical garden. It is especially beautiful.